Gemini, thanks for joining me today. We're doing your reading for this full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, which is tonight. So I'm hoping that I can get out there and see it in the southern hemisphere here, if the clouds don't kind of turn to castardo. So let's see. We'll do your reading. If you haven't tuned in before, it's a shortened Celtic cross. I'm going to lay them all out first, let them jump, and then we'll go through and talk about it, and then go through and clarify. So we'll just get the first central point for Gemini, please. If we can have just a few cards, even, it'd be quite good. Is that? Oh, yeah. Just a couple more. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Okay, what's behind you? These are all face down. Right, we've got that one. Where you're at right now. So, of course, don't get hooked up on time. Just one card for that position, please. Just one card for Gemini. And moving forward, Gemini. Okay, let's turn them up and see. Okay, central point. Right. Oh, look, this is a slow, we get the Eight of Cups, a card of not necessarily physically walking away, but there's a directive for a level of emotional detachment actually in this card, and it's crossed by the Prince of Discs. I love this Prince. We see his back of his chariot is just full of nitrogen globules. I love that because it's a slow release kind of card. This is necessary, obviously, for soil, microbes, etc., to do their thing, to exist. And the Knight, the Prince really works away, and it's slow because it's three-dimensional. It's in regards to the physical material world. And he really is a great, stable, solid character that just chips away and does his thing, and knows that over time that we see things building up that we put our energy into. So I do see this as this level of detachment and dissatisfaction it can be in the Eight of Cups. It's a mind card, and yet we're dealing with water, we're dealing with emotions. These cups are dried up, and that's why we walk away towards this, which is hard to see here, towards this golden horizon line, which is where we find the two, assuming that we're looking for the two. But it is, it's actually, in some decks, you'll see a red cloaked figure walking away in a new moon. And, the red, I think, sort of represents a kind of spiritual insight. I'm not talking about religion either. I'm talking about personal insight. So these two cards together, maybe there's something going on that has been, it's been a very slow process to come to the conclusion. So this could be about work, it could be about anything. Literally anything. But it's been a slow process to, buzz off, little fly, to get to a point in our mind where we see the great benefits of a level of detachment. Now, the basis of this is another 8, actually, is the 8 of Wands, a card of speed and of new information and messages coming through. So maybe this this sort of turnaround. I mean, it does. I do look at it. I just sort of hearing. You know, it's also like I do hear that it's like focusing, you know, on this project, whatever, a relationship, whatever it is, without having any definite expectations of anything as well. I do feel that. Anyway, we'll see what's behind you, what's past that means. The 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords, 5s are all about conflict, let's face it. And it's an internal conflict, of course. It's in your mind. I see it as, you know, as more something that we do to ourselves. It can be a card of a sort of hollow victory in some ways, a hollow victory, you know, working away at something. We may not have great expectations, you know, like, but working away at something and seeing that nothing's really, we actually have to walk away from our creation. But there's also this that's past, you know, this hollow victory. Acquiring something, but in a way that, you know, keeping hold of something that in a way goes against your personal integrity as well, with the 5 of Swords behind you. So anyway, we'll go through, we'll clarify, Gemini. Current position, we see the 8 of Swords. Now, yeah, there's quite a few, well, there's enough swords in here. You know, self-limitation. Maybe we're getting insight into what that specifically is for us as individuals. Moving forward, wow, this is really sort of, we will clarify. I said, yes, we will. Moving forward, of course, this is going to resonate for everybody at all. It may not resonate for anyone. Who would know? The cards tell their own story. Moving forward, we have, oh, look, I'm just going to check this because I can't actually, I'm a bit blind. Yes, I thought it was. We have the 3 of Swords, which, you know, we have memory, we understand, we have an intellectual understanding of sorrow and what that means. What that means to our hearts. It's actually, because it does feel like someone's walking away from something, whether it's a project, whether it's it feels more like a relationship to me, that they've put a lot of consistent and solid effort into, and they come to this realization because of new information that has come through quite quickly, that, you know, they look down at their 8 cups and see there's nothing in them anymore. They've sort of worked at this for so long, and then there's just nothing there. So, hello, what do I do now? Well, I mean, I think in this reading, Gemini, like, you've had some really amazing readings, but we'll clarify. But, you know, I think in this eclipse season or leading up to it, there's been a general feeling. And if you go and sort of look at all the planetary movements and everything like that as well, that there's been a kind of a directive with the astrological movements that, you know, this is a time for basically, you know, for want of a better term, lancing boils. And certainly with this eclipse, like, you know, clearing waste and expelling whatever it is that you don't need, whether that's emotionally, whether it's in your home or whatever. You know, Sagittarius South Node eclipse, you know, the South is about elimination. So it kind of, and these cards sort of seem to speak of a realization of certain things of that nature, I think, because otherwise I wouldn't be talking about it. Anyway, what are we interested in here, Gemini? It's looking kind of interesting. So let's have a wee look. So we know that the Prince of Discs, you know, works hard. Works hard. But we're looking at the Eight of Cups, which seems to be, yeah, look, something here to clarify that 8. Something here has had become too burdensome, and pretty much you got to the end of the line with it. And it's like a decision really to detach. I do feel like it's a relationship more so than, it's a relationship with one person or with a group. Yeah. So the 10 of Wands is the end of the line. It's like you understand not only rationally but emotionally what burdens you do not need to carry any longer. Whether they're for someone else, for yourself only, for your tribe, you realise that you need to release it. Okay, so, and as we see, slow release, crossed by that Prince, slow release. We'll look at the basis here, the 8 of Wands. Can we clarify that, please? Because it is about new messages or messages coming in quite quickly. Maybe enabling this. I knew this would come out. I knew it would come out. We get the 7. It's just so spot on. We get the 7 of Discs being looking at our gains from our efforts, the energy that we put into something, and what do we reap. You know, the farmer looks at his crops. Yeah, well, that one, you know, that didn't actually come to much, but that did. We look back, we review, we look at our energetic connections. You know, this time is so much about culling to a certain degree. Culling. So we look at our energetic investments here and see what is worth continuing, what is not worth continuing. But we also, with this card, we understand that we're responsible for that. I mean, no one else is responsible if we're depleted, if we're not getting anything back. Well, you walk away, don't you? You remove yourself. It's not necessarily physically removing yourself. energetically remove yourself. You know what I mean? This is in terms of relationships and situations. So we are responsible for that. And, you know, maybe it was a sort of little epiphany on that. All right, so we look at the Five of Swords, which is a pretty, you know, hollow victory, making a big deal out of just doing something that, it's not even worth it. What do I mean by that? Like a hollow victory. It's something you can't even enjoy because you know you weren't sort of following your own truth or integrity. Anyway, for Gemini, Five of Swords, please. If we can clarify that. Hey, it's pretty damn interesting. Yeah. And it's kind of like when we get when we realize these things, sometimes Five of Swords, when we're dealing with them, if it's our own, you know, our own inner conflict, then we often will take refuge in Hanged Man. I mean, we need to make, you know, and it's what I hear, we need to make some kind of recompense, if that's the right word, with ourselves and our truth and our conscience, and we go into Hanged Man mode in order to do that. It's actually quite wonderful thus far, representation of coming to a great new awareness, Geminis. So it's not, you know, it's pretty good. Let's look at the Eight of Swords, please. Self-limitation. Self-limitation, please, for Gemini. This Eight of Swords, can we clarify, please? We get the Seven of Wands. I might get one more card, which is about standing up for your integrity. Actually, in a far more honest way. In a far more honest way. Speaking your truth. We leave this idea with the Five of Swords of a kind of deceptive, hollow victory. And in fact, we come out into the center stage and we express our own particular truths about ourselves. We stand up for those. That's about having healthy self-esteem, Gemini. So that's really amazing. We'll just get and yeah, one more card that just weaseled its way out is the Queen of Wands. Like, this is about empowerment here. This realization, Gemini, total empowerment. Do you think this Queen goes around the back door to kind of get what she wants and then feels good about it? No way. I mean, I'm not saying that was, I'm a Gemini myself, I'm not saying that, but this is about this is about realizing the way our minds work. The Queen is bold, she is passionate, fully expressive, fully able to express herself to the world, and sometimes in a very imposing and over-the-top kind of way, but she, you know, is true to her element. She's true to her element, dear gems. So yeah, we're understanding what, you know, what this means and how it blasts through self-limitation. We've got nothing to hide. I mean, you know, self-limitation just stops us from taking risks and being adventurous, you know, and stops us from being able to receive certain things. In saying that, we get the 10 coming out, the 10 of Cups, which is wonderful, you know, it's bounty, in the emotional world. This will only, this awareness, Gemini, will only bring bounty in the emotional, in an emotional sense as well. Can we just look at the Three of Swords, please? Which is in the forward moving position. We don't necessarily want to take that into the future. We get the Five of Discs coming out, a card of lack, again a mentality, a mind card, or a mindset, I should say. The Five. We always choose to just take crumbs. We choose to stand outside when we could be in the warmth. We choose lack over what we want and need, actually more to the point. We choose what has quite a negative impact on us over what is a really positive, challenging yet positive impact on us. You know what I mean? The Five of Discs. I'll get one more for that. And so we have 5, 5. We've got 8, 8. It's like a kind of crossroads scenario here, Gemini. One more card for this. This is, you know, the Three of Swords and the Five of Discs. Sorry, that's just like the cousins of misery, really. You know, one's about sorrow and broken heart and memories of that, of being hurt and wounding. And the other one's about choosing to make yourself suffer in the material sense as well by not taking opportunity and all of that. It's kind of interesting moving forward. Can we get one more card, or maybe for these two? And we come back full circle. Detach. We started here with the 8, and you see what I mean, the red cloak, the new moon, the 8 cups. We detach emotionally, and we detach emotionally because it is going to benefit us. Actually, it's a good tool if it allows us to you know, gain some more information about our own process. It benefits not only us, but the people that are in our lives. It enriches everything like that. It's kind of interesting. If this was a personal reading, it would be, I could, you know, go into this a lot deeper because it's quite gutsy. Really positive, Gemini. Really positive. We'll just get, but there's a wee way to go, you know what I mean? It's a work in progress, my friends, as everything is. Can we get, I'll just keep shuffling, that's too many. This 8 of Cups that's appeared twice in this reading, Pixies and Fairies, Brian Frood. Interesting. We'll get one more. We get the Fawn coming out, which is a card of counterparts. Oh, what have we got here? Oh, that's far too many. A card of counterparts, friendship, allies, comrades. Look, allies and comrades, compadres. Interesting, a mirrored image. Strange. Oh, wow, that's far too many. Oh, what's happening here? Someone's watching. Someone's watching you. Look, we've got the beautiful Fawn. We've got the Fawn, which is a card of friendship and counterparts. And, you know, you see in this card there's a mirror image. there's a mirror image. You know, what do I get this? This sort of reflective quality here. Like someone's watching through a lens, or, you know, someone can see this. I don't know, actually. It's really, there's so much going on in this reading. It's kind of blasted my brain stem a wee bit. So we get the gotcha, isn't it? Card. It's like being watched, someone's viewing from afar, maybe. And it can be a surprise, you know, it's like epiphany. I've just had this new awareness, you know, in regards to myself. We've got this whole stack of cards, actually, and I'll just mention them briefly before we end. Because I think if this resonated for any of you out there, well, that's great. It certainly does for me personally, to a point. Anyway, we get the Singer of Intuition again. It's a gift coming from the divine. We must trust our intuitive capabilities, dear gems. We then get the Singer of Courage. This is courageous, this detachment, we're able to, I mean, in some ways we're able to kind of stand outside of ourselves and view ourselves, I think, as the dualistic creatures that we are, Gemini. So we had the Singer of Courage, we get the Magician. Mercury, Hermes. The Magician, yes, and then we get the deep diving Dark Lady, very surging deep waters that we are possibly floating around in this eclipse window, in this, that we're entering this portal, you could say, today, and we kind of move through that towards the mid and late June. There's another solar eclipse, isn't there, on the 10th of June? I've got a really sore head, Gemini. Now, that was quite full on. Look, we'll just get a journey map card for beautiful Geminis, please. Yay! And this is the main thing, you know. Awaken, aware, welcome in. This is a wonderful spring card. Here we have a gorgeous woman and her cat, and there's colour bombs going off in the background. It's a wonderful spring card. Awake, aware, I'm charged up. The lights are on. It's all go. Look, thanks Gemini. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy this time. Take it easy too, you know, for a few days. Okay. Cheers, Gems. Bye. Toodle.